Greetings, everyone. This is Psychic Chandler Duane Keir with messages received from the consortium since the last video. More and more are waking up. The backing of politics with religious power is beginning to fade away, as well as the backing of religion with political power. It is becoming more and more apparent that the two have been used somewhat interchangeably to keep the many manipulated and controlled for the benefit of the few. Just as in your fairy tale of old, the people know the emperor has no clothes, no matter how deeply he desires his version of reality to be. And your religious leaders live and clothe themselves in opulence while their people perish. The common people, so to speak, are beginning to find their own personal power, individually and collectively. And those presently manipulating and controlling the levers of political and religious power do most of their work in secret because they fear the masses from whom they hide. Soon the light will be too bright for those hiding in the shadows, and they will realize too late that true power comes from a commonality of compassion, not a hierarchy of control. It is a realization and revolution of the way things are and have been. Rather than following the path left by others, new trails are and will be blazed, and they will come from those who are receiving downloads from those like us about what is to come. It will rewrite your history and also your future. The prophecies are not about the end, but about a new beginning, one where those both in the physical and non-physical will be in contact, connection, and communication. We urge you to begin practicing for this thinning of the veils, for it is actually about the expansion of your consciousness beyond your belief in them. Be prepared for the old ones to come forward once again to assist you in this endeavor, and they encourage you to enjoy the living of your life first and foremost. It is in the joy of living that you find your most accessible power. Those supposedly in power only feign joy because they base their beliefs on more and more and never having enough. It is a never-ending cycle of striving and stressing and missing the present experience of just being alive. This is not a choice between two paths of being either rich or poor, but lighting a candle in the darkness for those to see that the only right path for someone is the one they are truly free to choose for themselves. Two on different paths coming together is much more powerful than 200 coming together on a path that has been chosen for them without their full participation and knowledge of the other truths available to them. Much change is coming in your financial markets and balances of power, and your mass media will make it sound as if your whole world is coming to an end. The truth is much simpler and more profound. It is but the ending of the world in which those who have held most of the power will hold much less of it. They will try to regain their power by striking fear in the hearts of those who have given it to them. Prepare now to recognize this manufactured time of apocalypse for what it is, the revelation of what has been hidden because the light upon your planet has become too strong for even the darkest of shadows. It is the time of the great turning of the wheel, and it is the divine feminine who will expand the spokes of this wheel to include all of her children in its turning. This cycle is one she best understands because all of her bodies are intimately associated with it. Those who insist on a linear understanding of time and a hierarchical understanding of authority will look outside of themselves for saviors and leaders to show them the way forward. It is, however, not the movement of time forward, but rather the expansion of time throughout the cosmos. And there is no hierarchy of authority when one acknowledges and accepts one's own authority as a divine spark from the original source of all creation. Your children will be looking to you for calm during chaos, and it will be your joy that gives them this understanding. Teach them your calm, and it will not only bless them and you, but also others as well. Simply raising your hand in a blessing will carry more power for yourself and others, including your children, than any words can convey. It is a good time for the reading of books out loud together and dreaming of what it would feel like to be each of the characters. Then practice how you would send a blessing to each of the characters that might bring them calm. Do this without judging the characters or trying to make them do what you think they should do. Just a blessing, without any preconceived ideas of what is best for the character, but rather that they might find it out for themselves. This is also not a time for sharing your spiritual beliefs unless asked, and then only sharing what is asked of you. It is a time of encouraging others to explore their own beliefs for the expansion of their consciousness, beyond trying to find the right answer, toward their finding more and more questions, leading them to more and more expansion of their consciousness. Contemplating that there might be more than one answer to a question keeps one asking the question rather than settling for a limited and limiting answer. Keep in mind during this season of gift giving for many that the greatest gift you can give yourself is your connection to your own higher self, and that the greatest gift you can give others is to encourage them to make this same connection to theirs. There is no religion or political ideology that supplants your own spiritual sovereignty, and you are called to follow the path upon which you most feel led. For many, it will be exceedingly difficult to find and follow one's own spiritual path, rather than just follow the path of someone else. One can learn from all paths, but one's own path is based upon personal experience and their own connection to the original source of all creation. It is not only one's right to find and follow their own path, but dare we say, their responsibility. You chose to incarnate into physical, material reality to live the life you have before you. And how sad it would be if you chose just to live the life of another who has already lived. This does not mean you have to walk your path alone, for you can find others who are also choosing to walk their own path and encourage each other along the way. Then you all can bring your experiences back to the whole, for these experiences to be accessible for all. Be of good cheer, and know that the ashes of one death can be fertile ground for the birth of another. both literally and figuratively. As you have heard said, energy never dies but simply changes form. And you can change form both during life as well as death. Watch your earth demonstrate how this is done in the continuation of life upon your planet. Change happens continually and in all forms, and you personally are changing with each passing moment. Where you feel your life has turned to ashes, plant a seedling and nurture its growth. Your whole planet is alive with more potential than has ever been perceived, and we watch you in its fulfillment. As we have said, time is not linear, so keep in mind that you do not always have to be moving forward. Sometimes, time is asking you to sit still and experience the sound of your heartbeat in rhythm with the heartbeat of your earth. She called you here and takes delight in your presence, especially when you enter into Holy Communion with her. And it is in Holy Communion with her that you will experience the expansion of consciousness throughout the cosmos. As always, we remind you that we are here to serve and not to be served. We caution you against any who call for your service to them or who in any way see you as less than they see themselves.